All right, people. Sorry, I'm buying another set of wheels for the Civic. Bryce, you're going to be excited. 16 by 8.
Ooh.
TE37.
42.
Plus 35. So it'll be tight. So, but we might be able to run 215s on that, but they're dark diamond or diamond dark gunmetal. It's ace. It's like not black, but not gunmetal, a little bit in between. And I think I just got them.
So how long before
says,
these
"Hi,
are
PayPal or
on
Venmo,
Bryce's
fine."
car?
Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot about that. Now, I think these will be the flagship wheels for the Civic. Plus 35, though. But we're going to have lots of adjustability in this ridiculous suspension. So, yeah, I'm just kind of PayPal or give me your PayPal address. I'll frickin' send it right now, bro. He's used to dealing with poor and stupid Honda people. I'm like, let's frickin' go. I don't mess around. Like, you know, how about you're asking $2,250. Would you take $2,199? Get out of here. No, just give me your address. I'll pay for it. Send it to me right now. It's $2,200, and it's freaking nothing in the world of wheels.
Chris isn't here to stop you from doing all
anyway, he can't stop me. I'm a freaking enigma. Anyway, so Kyle's here today filling in. Apparently this podcast is sponsored by me and Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Which indirectly I probably paid for that too through salary payroll deductions out of my account into yours, and then you get to support Mountain Dew. See, I love Mountain Dew, but I just can't handle it.
I mean, we got two here.
That's not enough. I would need at least
24 ounces. That's pretty good. That's a start.
Oh, this is 24.
Yeah.
God dang! It says delicious. 20% more delicious.
Refreshing.
How can you drink that all? How do you have any teeth left?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Maybe these are fake.
Yeah, get that out of the frame. It's not sponsored by Mountain Dew. It's sponsored by me. Me and all the Milwaukee I've bought, so please buy it because I owe almost $200,000 to Milwaukee. So, yeah, so buy some of the stuff so we don't go broke. So what's going on, Kyle? Chris is getting tested for COVID-19. So he got tested as, it's like somebody's brother, sisters, uncles, cousins, relatives, friends, niece got it, and so then 37 people removed. We've got to go get tested.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see what happens if we're all going to.
I have talked to him today, so he's not dead.
Right. He's not sick either.
Yep. No.
So
not
he's
sick.
living it up now. He's hanging out, eating the remaining Little Debbies. We're supposed to have the Little Debbie challenge today, but we'll postpone it. Oh, it's in the corner there. Big stack of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few guys asking about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in shape, and then I fell off the wagon last night. It was bad. It's real bad. It was like I've been supplementing, so taking vitamin D, a multivitamin, fish oil, which I've never had a problem with, and all of a sudden this fish oil has made me sick as crap. I couldn't figure out what the heck is wrong with me, and so last night I'm feeling terrible after this crazy workout at the gym, and then I'm like, man, I'm just not hungry. I thawed out a Snake River Farms ribeye, USDA prime ribeye, ready to go. I'm gonna reverse sear it, make it, and just eat the steak. Nothing else, no extras. And I'm like, man, I feel terrible. And then, around like 7, so my eating, I'm doing intermittent fasting. That's the plan. So 16 off, 8 on. And so I have to get done by 8 o'clock. So around 7 o'clock, I'm like, let me just have a couple of goldfish. You know where this is going. And I'm like, I'm feeling a little better. Let me go have a bowl of cereal. So then I had 2 giant bowls of Frosted Flakes. And then I just started drinking milk out of the freaking half gallon. I drank like at least 3/4 of a half gallon of milk. And then I'm like, well, I already ruined it. Might as well go eat some freaking crackers. So we have like those, what are they called? Ritz Crisp? No, what are they called? Yeah, I think so.
Are they like the toasted Ritz?
Oh,
yeah. Like the
chip.
cheese.
It's more like a chip or something.
Yeah. So I ate pretty much that whole bag, and then I sat there, felt sorry for it was like $7.59.
I have a box of the extra toasted Cheez-Its in my backpack right now. I've been munching on those past couple days.
Yeah, but see, you have some resolve. You have some resistance to quantity. I don't.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's the story of my life. So I got on a scale and it was 233. I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa. I haven't gotten on scale. I have these I forget Y things scale, and it just wasn't charged. And I got to get the stupid little USB mini thing, get that all set up, and and to get it charged. And I got on. I thought I was still like 245, and I got on scale. I was 233. I was motivated.
You've been working out, like,
and then I ruined it. Yeah, and then I ruined it yesterday. So I've been riding my bike every day here, get an extra 5 miles in. I ride, it's pretty hard to get here, and that's been the deal. So anyway, that's what's going on. Nope, no, not getting fat.
Speaking of steaks, somebody asked. I can't find it now, but somebody was asking about steaks and what you got going on with that. Are you still chasing?
No, steaks. I'm not obsessed with steaks. I just like a steak, and so I wanted to find some place that sold good ones because of frickin' Publix or Walmart. It just tastes like crap. And so I wanted to find some place that I could just buy from regularly. And so I did a little research there. And then, you just grill a steak. It doesn't work right. You gotta like sear it and then put it in the oven. Especially if you get a decent, like an inch or thicker steak. You can't just cook it on the grill properly. I'd always done the sear it on both sides and kind of put it on the other side of the grill. Because I'm not using, we talked about this last week, some janky, white trash fancy grill there, what is the green egg or Traeger or some bull crap like that.
Ooh, Mike's triggered right now.
So the, you'd like sear it on the thing, like have like the infrared thing, and then you put it over on the other side. It just never works right. The magic trick is just put it in the oven. And don't give me this sous vide bull crap. That's for freaking jokesters. Just don't. I'm not boiling some water and put my steak in a baggie. No, I'm gonna freaking grill it. But put it in the oven is like the way to go. So it's just so much easier. And I've got a Wolf where it has like a little magic thermometer. You put it in, you plug it into the thing, and it beeps. It tells you when it gets to. I like it about 134 degrees internal. Take it out, let it sit for 10 minutes, and good to go. That's it.
It's pretty good.
So that's what I've been doing with the steaks.
So we got a lot of Mountain Dew chat going on.
Oh boy, yeah. What are they saying?
Brian Deal says, "Kyle, pound that dew."
Yeah. Okay.
Every day of my life.
How many dews per day? Just one?
Actually, lately I haven't had that many, but I always supplement with something else if I'm not drinking Mountain Dew. So it's just as bad. Yeah, just as bad or worse probably.
So what happens if you stop drinking caffeine? You'd get like a blistering headache, and you'd be
no, just cravings probably mainly. I've gone a week or two without it.
I can't do caffeine. Yeah. You're freaking jacked up. I'd be all messed up.
Is this Mike MWF80? Little super chat there from him, $100. He said,
shoot!
Just telling us to have a great weekend.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
It's awesome. Let's see what else we got here going in the chat. I printed out a bunch of stuff, but then I haven't looked at the actual Facebook chat. Mike, or YouTube chat it is. Mike Spina says is ordering his OG spec pillow today. I guess we've talked about that.
Yeah, I should freaking buy those for stock. I got my king, so I've been saying it the last 3 podcasts I'm going to order it. So I got the king size. Then Michelle I'm all excited because I got 2 pillows a couple of days ago. I'm all excited. I'm going to break it open, go king size. Because the magic of the king size, if you lay on your side, you can kind of throw your other arm up and kind of rest it on the length, the distance of the pillow. And sure enough, she threw away all of our king pillowcases. I'm like, what the? Now I got to order some pillowcases. I can't use my new pillow. But yeah, I was thinking about buying some more and hoarding them just in case. The thing is good, real nice. Because it's memory foam, but not like traditional memory foam. It's just good.
Sticks.
Yeah, I can never find something. I was on a pillow chase for a while, and I found these. It was real good. I found it when my parents were moving down here, and they went to look for a bed. And I'm like, I'm just testing out beds, and I laid on this pillow. It was like love at first head touch. It's fantastic.
We got Sean checking in. Sean Saunders. He says he's a stomach sleeper himself, but he's just saying, hey, we got Amandus from South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Sean again, South Africa again. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a long ways away. So what do people want to know? What are we talking about here?
Let's see. I'm horrible at this. So
yeah, you're
Chris,
you're doing terrible. Come on,
this is
just
really
read some
bad.
questions.
All right.
I'm filling in. So here's how you do this. So while I'm rambling, then you queue up your next question.
Right. I need to stop listening to you.
Yeah, don't listen.
And,
Chris pays
bad.
absolutely no attention to me.
All right, I got it.
And
now.
then
Ignore Matt.
Yeah, he'll
That's
take it.
the
He'll
key.
take in a couple of words.
Jim on Facebook, Jim Tanner was asking, what's the deal with TJ Hunt's garage? Obviously, still on the agenda.
Yeah, I need to get it. You need to get me to the stuff, so we need to get to him. And he's probably thinking the same thing. He's like, the same thing we do. It's like, all right, well, you probably got to call Matt, and then he doesn't, and then I'm like, I probably got to call TJ and get on this, and we got to get moving. It's kind of hard to travel right now. That's the hard part. I don't want to freaking wear some stupid mask while I'm flying on a plane for 5 hours. It'd be annoying as crap. Just breathing in my own funk. I don't want to do that. I guess I'm going to have to do that because the GT4 should be here. I guess it landed. So I think that the due date is like the 22nd or something like that. So I'm going to be flying up there to Wilmington, North Carolina, which I didn't realize is so cool. It's right on the lap to Wilmington. And I might take the family. I don't know. And we're going to take delivery and shoot some videos. I'm going to shoot a video of the PDI process. And then the car will get picked up and come down here. And, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
I'm really excited to get a new car, like a new car. I spec'd it, I bought it, I ordered it. It's been a long time since I've done that, since 2014, because all the cars I've been buying are some stinky old used ones that I've had to fix up. Like even, like my GT350 was just, I got whatever I got, and the Raptor. I mean, I spec'd the Raptor. I think I did. Never mind. Forget everything I just said. I've probably bought about 5 cars that I spec'd out from new. But, when you buy a Ford, it's not as fun as buying like a BMW or a Porsche.
Having it shipped from overseas, tracking it, stuff like that.
Yep.
Speaking of garages, we've been talking a lot to Nick, or I have been, talking about different solutions for his garage, Nick in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys were asking about that. Are we planning on doing another update video? Again, travel is difficult, but...
Yeah, what I could probably have him do, I could probably just have him shoot it himself and send me he just did it on a darn iPhone. I'm sure Nick probably has a camera, or I can send one out to him, send like the Sony ZV-1 that I've been using for vlogging, send it out to him. And, he's extremely well-spoken, and, he's been great on camera the times I've had him, so I'm sure he could walk around the garage and capture footage. So maybe I should have him do that. Just ship a camera out and have them ship it back with the memory card in it, and we can edit it and put it together. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. We've been kind of going back and forth a lot on different solutions. He's trying to figure out basically a portable workbench. Thinking about stringing together a couple different Sonic cabinets, putting a top on them, putting some casters on them, that sort of thing. So we're trying to kind of work through that and see how.
Did I see my other under cabinet lighting came today?
It did.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so we found our through our supplier of the OG overhead lights. They're a lighting company, and they suggested. So I guess Tommy was talking to him about it, and so they sent us out these from a company called Max Light. Just some Chinese, light. But the nice part about it is it has it's frosted, so it has a diffuser, and then also has a 180-degree beam angle. I'd ordered a bunch of the Scan Grip Line Light lift kits. They're designed for like 4-post lifts and stuff like that. Thinking I could kind of do those underneath the cabinet. The problem is the beam angle on the Scan Grip stuff is 75 degrees. And so what happens is you can see the edge, because there's no diffusion, you can see the rainbow edge of the very edge of the LED, and since the angle isn't wide enough to disperse the whole under cabinet area. And so we've got these other lights that are pretty unique in that they don't have a big. The other problem with most lights, under cabinet lighting, is you have some big brick. You have the big transformer you have to put somewhere. So these don't have that. You just plug it in. So you have one plug, and we can daisy chain. What did he say? It was like 50 feet or something like that, or 75 feet or something crazy. 40 feet. 40. Crazy enough. You get it. So we can do 40 feet of fixtures before you need another plug. So which would cover pretty much any cabinet array, and so we're excited about that. We tested out, kind of some different configurations. So I'm gonna work on that, and we'll shoot a video on that, and then we'll start to provide that solution if it's as viable as I think it is. So Nick kind of got me moving on that, and he was came up with a solution to putting in all the different scan grip, little portable lights underneath, and use it under cabinet lighting, and then you can pull it out and use it when you need to. That's another option. But then you got to put power bricks for each one of those, and it becomes a little annoying.
That's not really enough light spread for the.
And I don't think we're moving our cabinets again. They're fixed there for life, so they're not moving unless we take them apart. It weighs a lot.
Yeah.
What else? What else are people asking us?
Can you give your opinion on the GT500 versus 350? Granted,
both cars. The biggest problem I have is that gosh darn Recaro, which would be pretty easy to change. I saw that they have a Shelby version coming out, which will have flatter seats, fat guy seats. But the seats are the biggest problem. But I think I would prefer to have a GT350 because of the high revving character of the I forget I thought the original GT500, where I got confused, the original GT500 was supposed to, they talked about having just a supercharged Coyote. Well, what do they call it? It's called the Venom or something like that, the engine. What's it called? I can't remember. So you got the Voodoo and the Voodoo engine. You get the Coyote engine and the GT, Venom, or no, Voodoo, and then maybe it's Venom or someone make a comment on it and tell me what it's called. But anyway, I like despite the deficiencies and the problematic nature of the flat plane crank versus the cross plane crank in the GT500, I love the character of the GT350. And so I think a GT350R, I think I'd probably still choose that because you can get it in a manual, or you can only get in a manual, and you can only get in a dual clutch. And I think the thing that did it for me on having a GT350 over GT500 is the plastic paddles they have. So if you're going to go double clutch, go all in and have some big meaty aluminum paddles and make it so that I have full control. So I didn't drive the car, so I'm not sure what's the proper way to use it. I don't know how engaged you can be with the whatever the Tremec DCT that's in the car. Can I bounce it off the rev limiter and stuff like that like I can in a GT3? So I think I'd pick the GT350R. Not having not driven it, I think I'd still choose that despite the extra horsepower. But if you're a straight line wannabe or horsepower junkie, then the GT500 obviously would be the choice because you can tune the crap out of that thing.
Yeah, that was going to be another question from Third Eyed Photography. Was did you get a chance to drive it? Obviously,
no. It'll come up here. I left Billy's yesterday. I'm not sure. I think Keith will probably just bring it up here, and I'll, depending on how much I'm freaking out that week, whether I can go drive it around the block or not.
Yeah, I think he lives 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah,
away,
he lives in Bay Hill. Yep. So
yeah, so it's not too bad.
Yep.
Are you gonna drive Jeff's? Give it a shot.
Yeah,
down the road or something.
Maybe.
We were just working on Jeff's Mustang in there.
Yeah, so today we did the AWE track exhaust and then the JLT intake and Palm Beach dyno tune, and then he's a freaking idiot putting E85. So he had 100% E85 tune. So now naturally the car's running like crap, and so hopefully he'll be wise enough to quit that game and go just put some freaking gas in it and just get a nice mild, basic tune, my safe mild, out of the box tune, over the counter tune, and call it a day. But we worked on, you can see my, fingernails. Michelle loves it when my fingernails look like that.
Yeah, I was looking at that. You're walking in
Real
here.
man.
Obviously, you don't wash your hands, so.
No, I did. I washed them, but that's it. That's washed. It's a real man. No, that's not washed. But I'm not a real man, not a baby. Using all my Milwaukee tools, getting them all greased up, thinking about contemplating whether I just get a separate set of Milwaukee tools so that I have one that's clean for show and one for use. But yeah, the exhaust went nice and smooth. The intake not so much. Yeah, some parts that literally should take 1.5 minutes took an hour. I'm smashing stuff.
We got David Yowsey's friend of ours. Kind can't remember where David lives, but he's asking about my Golf R, speaking of doing some modifications and stuff like that, asking what the plans are, if I'm going to keep it stock, what the modification route's going to be. But a few people asking about that. But we might have some parts possibly coming here. So
you've kind of learned the pros and cons of modification, right? So you hadn't done a lot of that. And when you start to modify, then, you see Jeff's out there now. He's like, oh, my gosh, why did I do this? I guarantee that's what he's thinking. And then that's part of the game. And then when stuff starts rattling and stuff starts making noise and that's part of the deal.
Yeah, David, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, if anything, yet. We've been talking to a few people, but it's tough.
And so people see why I choose the more conservative route. That's why I've, I used to search for the deal, that most performance, best bang for the buck, and and you'd scoff at buying things from like Dine-In or APR or from the higher end, more reputable tuners. Buying more conservative, but yet more expensive parts, and people poo-poo when you're not buying like for a BMW. You're not getting Boot Mod or what's that other bullcrap app? I forget what it. Shoot. Well, JB4 is another janky way to do it, there's another one, MHD. You gotta get the MHD, which is just like an open architecture app, and you just have all these jank tunes and it just uploads whatever.
That sounds horrible.
And people are like, "Well, let me just get the best one. It's proven." No, it's just, lots of people buy it because it's $80. You poros. And then I get in trouble for buying a $1,500 Dine-In tune. Well, guess what? My engine's not going to blow up and start ticking and have problems. And I'm going to want to drive around with a freaking phone hooked up to my OBD2 port everywhere I go so I can clear the codes. Keep it simple. This is what happens when you get a little older. You've screwed it up every way possible. I'm not going to freaking get E85 to put in my car to get an extra 12 horsepower out of it and have it not work. Instead, I'm just going to stick to the basics. And I'm going to get a good car from the beginning. This is the other reason why, I don't buy crappy versions and try to fix it. You can never make the crappy car, perfect. It's always slightly janky. And so that's why I always look for the cleanest example of a car, even if I'm going to chop it up and do my stuff to it, like with the Civic. I don't want some car with some all beat up seals and rubbers all falling apart, and then you got to repaint the thing and all that crap. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that was very frustrating with my GTI and getting all the rattles and stuff. I thought it would be awesome. Man, I'm going to have this race suspension. It's going to be great. And then, and I was just like, you know what? I can't handle the rattles. I'm just going to get rid of it. And
I can relate.
Golf R, here we come.
Yeah.
That's basically how it went. But we got CH Beller in the group. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it says Kyle is a treasure, the GOAT.
Oh Lord! You're supposed to skip over those.
No, I gotta bring this kind of stuff up. It's good. It's quality stuff. So speaking of, you mentioned Milwaukee a little bit ago. I figured we can maybe talk about that a bit. Matt Duffy's asking if the OG media and support teams have lost their minds because of all the crazy posts we've been doing lately. But what's going on with Milwaukee, and how are we looking with that?
I have like 55 or so items left over from the the tester stuff that we put on sale in the store, 20% off. So I got special permission to do that, kind of sell off, and some of the real expensive, obscure stuff that doesn't sell. Milwaukee will take that back and give us credit on our next order. But so that's cleaned up. So the shelves we're down to 2 shelves of that where we had 6 shelves filled with it. So all the products have been unboxed and chosen. I now have 53 items that make up the power tool or the cordless power tool line that I'm going to carry. And then I started yesterday, so I was doing all day yesterday. I may or may not have had Heartland on in the background, and then working through figuring out how to put together bit sets, like impact bits. I have Phillips and Square and Torx, and then working on drill bits and And so just digging into the catalog and then starting to compile and figure out how I can do it. And then I called Daniel at Milwaukee and asked him about the possibility of, well, one of the things that I don't like is I go to Home Depot and they have these it's like the 32-piece set, save $55 or whatever it says. I'm talking about DeWalt has it, Makita has it. Well, the problem is that set has a bunch of crap that I don't want, and it's missing a bunch of stuff that I do want. I want the complete set, not like the Home Depot buyer set. The guy who's never used a tool in his life, doesn't know anything. I want I want it all, and I want it in certain increments. And so what I want to do is I want to buy and create my own kit. Like a lot of kits, they don't have T27, they don't have T25, they don't have T30, they don't have the 3-inch or the 3.5 or 6.5 inch or 6-inch versions of the tools, which I want to have, like a 6-inch PH2 Phillips bit. I want that. And so I called them and said, can I buy these in bulk and split it up? Because I don't know where they come up with this, who comes up with this idea, but they'll have like PH1 1-inch, 2-inch, 3.5-inch, 6-inch, but in the carbide matrix version, which is their highest quality, they only make it in a 1-inch, a 2-inch, and a 3.5, and then in the regular Shockwave they make it in a 6. And so I want the carbide matrix in the 1, 2, and 3.5, and then I want the 6 in the other version. And so the problem is that some of these tools you can buy in a 1-pack. Some you buy in a 2-pack. Some you can only buy in a 5-pack. Some of them you can only buy in a 25-pack. And so I'm like, now what do I do?
End up with a bunch of randoms.
Right. And so then I called him. I said, can I just buy all these in 25 packs and just split it up and make my own kits? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? I was like, sweet. Then I found out not all of them come in a 25-pack. Some of them only come in a 2-pack. So then I'm going to have to buy 12, 13 2-packs of like a T27 Torx in order to get this put together. And then we're going to be, I'm going to have these guys over here putting in little bit sets. And then I'm like, well, then how are we going to take these bits and organize? That's what I posted in the Facebook group. I said, how am I going to organize it? And so I want to do the same thing with saw blades, circular saw blades, Sawzall blades. And we're going to work within the Milwaukee line. And then eventually I'll start to curate and find what are the best saw blades on the planet. What are the best bit sets? Do we go and start using Wera bit sets or some other version or something like that? So, but for now, I'm going to work through the Milwaukee catalog that are pretty darn good to support the Milwaukee set. See, I've been sort of struggling with this idea that, man, I'm talking about curating products, but yet I'm buying everything from Milwaukee because I'm sort of stuck with that. But the justification, at least this is my internal justification, is that, well, I want one battery architecture. I want one system. And so I chose what is my favorite system, and now I'm going to choose the favorite tools within that system. And then because I have this set up, and because they make some decent accessories for their products, I'm going to go out and create accessory packages via the Milwaukee system, and then we'll start to sprinkle in some other stuff. We got some super chats.
Yeah, we got a couple. We got Daniel is asking, how many do's do you do if you have to do the do? Well, we already know Matt's just going to do all of them if
all
if
the
available.
Do's, yeah, or none of the do's.
Yeah.
So I choose
all or none.
None of the do's.
And then Nick is asking, have you given sous vide?
No, I'm not a girl. I'm putting a freaking steak in a baggie.
I don't even understand it. It doesn't make sense.
You get this little you get this little boiling thing. You put this little electric thing goes in there, and this is like as seen on TV. And then they say, well, this is what Michelin 5-star restaurants use because it makes it so much more tender. I said, I don't care if it's better. It's for babies. I'm not doing that.
You would lose out on the grilled aspect of it. The taste
I'm just not
of
interested.
It being on a grill.
I'm not interested. So anyway, you put this little electrode in there, and it brings the water up to a certain temperature. And because water, it's more even distribution. You put your steak in the freaking bag, and you dunk the bag in the water, and you cook the steak. And it cooks it to perfection. I don't care what it does. I'm not doing it.
We've got another super chat here.
Ooh.
This is a $5 from Raymond. Thank you, Raymond. We have what are some OG spec no-show socks that won't slide down my foot every 10 steps?
Yeah, I have really good success. These are Under Armour. I don't know what version they are, but they're like, if I was flexible enough, I'd just roll my foot up here on the table, but I'm not going to do that. Under Armour, they're black and gray. Here, I'll just do this. These are legit, super legit. That's the sock, whatever that is. You can find them all over the place.
That's one. They're probably online.
And they say large or small, medium.
They actually have sizes?
Yeah.
Wow. But a lot of, some socks do, I guess, but most socks it's just like.
Yeah, and I always go like I'd probably be like, I'm in between a large and XL. So you just choose the size a little smaller. Legit socks.
Legit. That's all that matters. I just wear whatever socks match my shoes. So I've got mostly Adidas. So I just have Adidas socks.
Yeah.
But my Adidas are failing bad. So I'm going to have to switch brands. It's no good.
Yeah, these are pretty bulletproof. And even Michelle steals them all the time, messes them up, gets them on dirt foot. I don't walk around with my freaking socks like outside and crap and the dirt floors.
Yeah, it like filters in the dirt and then it just gets in your feet. And,
I hate
and your socks get
trailer
ruined
park feet. Yeah, I hate that crap.
No good.
So I can't wear flip-flops around. I want some dirt feet.
I wear flip-flops though.
I can't do it.
Because after I take my shoes off when I get home, now what am I going to do?
And
go around barefoot?
No, that's where I wear socks, and that's where you get like some slide-ons, whatever those things are called.
Okay.
I can't do the thingy, the toe thingy.
Really?
Oh, no.
It?
One time, when we, I think this is like our second vacation, like our 1-year anniversary trip to, White Trash, Jamaica. So we go there and all-inclusive. Again, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world. And so we go there, and they lost my luggage on Air Jamaica, some $90 flight or whatever. And so I lost my luggage, and I had to like buy some like Jamaican flip sandals, and I literally couldn't walk in them. Like, cause I have like a slight webbing to my toes, and so that thing is jamming in there.
I just imagine a cat or a dog with little booties on. It's just.
And I got baby feet because I don't walk around with trailer park feet, right? So if I step on something, it hurts like crap. And so I'm waddling around with these darn flip-flops.
Oh, man.
And that was the only time I've ever worn the toe thing. I don't know how you people do it. It hurts so badly. I guess you just kind of get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm born and raised in Florida. I just wear flip-flops all the time if I'm not working.
I don't care if I was born and raised in Hawaii. I'm not freaking wearing that crap. I can't do it.
Jonathan Edwards on Facebook, and he hit me up on Instagram too. He's asking, what do we think about... given the popularity of foam cannons, we sell a ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought of developing a derivative of your Decon soap as a more of a UK style, where I guess in the UK they use something that's really strong, almost like an APC?
Yeah, it's dumb. Why are they telling them to stop doing that? It
right.
Makes no sense. Rain is rain, dirt is dirt, salt is salt. Don't give me this crap that you got dirtier dirt in freaking UK. It's the same dirt. It's dirt. Just wash it off. Why do you need some heavy, harsh chemical to wash off the dirt? You get your freaking pressure washer and you spray it off, and it gets 90% of it off, and there's a little bit of film left over, and you foam the car and you wash it, or you wash it with the mitt, and then you rinse it off. Why do we need an extra step?
Yeah. No matter what, you're gonna have to touch the car.
I've been talking about this, railing against this forever. Otherwise, if you have any kind of soap, if you have a Decon soap or you have something like that, it's going to affect, if it's doing any deep cleaning, it's going to affect the protection layer. There's just no way around it.
It's kind of one of the things you talk about with like bug remover or something. If it's going to be strong enough to really remove bugs,
then right, it's going to remove it's going to remove the
wax or whatever.
Yeah, jack up your PPF over time. But if if you have your car protected and you drag the mitt across it, I don't understand what's going to happen. It's slick, the dirt shouldn't be lodged on there anyway. Most of the dirt should have come off just in the rinse portion. So the rinse portion, I think, is the most important part. You're going to rinse off and do a good job of rinsing off, and that's why a pressure washer is very useful over a garden hose. You're going to use less water, a more concentrated stream of less water, and you're going to blow off most of the dirt and muck and all that funk, all right, and salt and all of that stuff. And then you're going to come back and you're going to foam the surface to add lubrication to it. So you're going to lubricate the surface. So if you start snow foaming crap because your dirt is dirtier than other people's dirt, I don't know how, then you're going to start removing stuff. And so then you could adopt that idea in that, well, I'm just going to strip the surface every time. I'm going to start fresh and add a new layer of like spray wax or something like that.
Kind of like the Griots system, their foaming system that they have.
Right, but then the problem with that, like that silicon dioxide, that water activated stuff, it gets kind of gummy and then starts to get some of your trim and stuff sort of gets a white film on it over time, like Hydro 2 or Wet Coat or Griots poly foam or whatever. So again, if you have a soap, if you think about this logically, if you have a soap that's doing any meaningful amount of dirt removal, then you're going to be affecting, and maybe only trace amounts, but you're going to be affecting your protection layer. And so why not just wash it like everybody else? Dirt is dirt. I just rode my freaking mountain bike through all the, through like literally torrential downpour, nothing but mud. The bike was coated in mud, but the car is also coated in CSL XO. And so PPF CSL XO. So guess what I did? I freaking sprayed it off. I foamed it, and I washed it, and I sprayed it off again.
That's good to go.
And it's perfect.
That's one of the things that I think people get caught up in is like they think that the pressure washer is just for applying the foam. But they miss the whole point of the pressure washer is meant to blast off all the stuff.
Yeah, the most useful part of the pressure washer is cleaning out my rotors and the the brake dust boot or whatever that brake dust shield behind the behind that, especially on carbon ceramics, blowing out all that kind of that really fine dust that tends to make your brakes squeak. So
we got another $20 super chat here from John. It says, "Hey Matt and Kyle, I know you have recommended CSL XO for plastic trim, but have you had any experience with C4? Which
it's not very good. I mean, CSL or even just XO alone is way better than C4. I don't know anybody that really uses C4. Same thing with C4, C5, C1. I'm just, I just think CSL is better than all of those on any application.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of XO only on the trim. Mm-hmm. Or, I mean, you could do CSL and then XO, but XO trim.
Right, XO pretty much negates the CSL part. I guess theoretically you would expect that if you CSL first and then XO'd on top that it would theoretically last longer, but who knows?
Right, yeah.
I don't know, because the CSL and the trim fails around the same time it would fail in the paint, so you'd end up just reapplying it to all of it. So
I had an interesting conversation. Well, I've been harping on this. I think all the technical support and media guys are tired of me talking about CSL by itself. But I talked with Eric over at G-Technic, and he was kind of agreeing with me that CSL by itself can actually have better like self-cleaning abilities and stuff like that because it has less of the beading effect that you get from XO, and it's a little bit more sheeting. It's still obviously crazy beading and stuff like that, but it sheets more and helps actually keep the car cleaner more, which is exactly what I've been seeing with my car, my wife's car that only have CSL on it, and then I just top it with bead maker. So
yeah, I like the we talked about that. I like the look of the combination of CSL XO, so it gives me look, slick, and then better durability than old wax. But it's an 18-month thing. And you're gonna strip it off and start over.
Yeah. To me, XO doesn't really serve a purpose as far as durability because we're gonna redo it eventually anyway. So
I need to get Halo in the store too because Halo's great on PPF. So I'm gonna call and order that.
I think we have panel wipe coming.
Yeah.
I think this was. I don't know if anybody's asked this recently, but somebody did ask this the other day. Are we planning on replacing Eraser with panel wipe?
No, panel wipe is much, much more aggressive. So, I find myself using panel wipe. Like if I want to inspect a panel, and or if I want to be sure that I've gotten off all of the leftover mineral oil and that's attributed to the polish, then I'm going to use panel wipe. But like panel wipe, you don't want to spray it on the surface. It's it's nasty stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, it has a much heavier. I'm guessing it has some sort of solvent versus just a dilution of isopropyl alcohol. So I think it's a good combination, and I think like one 16-ounce bottle of panel wipe is going to last you a long time, and then you would have a gallon and a 32-ounce bottle of eraser.
Spencer's asking on Facebook. I think this is probably something we've talked about before, but what do you think about the Owner's Pride detailing products? Have you used any of those?
It's a stupid name, so I would never even consider it. What the heck is Owner's Pride?
Go. Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. OP. I don't know. But yeah, Owner's Pride doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I've heard them. They're like
Optimum guys.
You see the like I'm Owner's Pride coating installer. I don't know. Why is every detailing company copy every other detailing company? Get your own idea. So we're gonna have a dealer network of our professional grade coating. Like, why in the world would anybody come out with a detailing line? And there's been like 50 of them in the last year. Why would anybody come out with a detailing line and do it the exact same way as every other detailing line? Come up with your own system, your own idea, your own process. Especially considering the current system is stupid. Like why are they doing that? It's because of no imagination. They're just trying to get a few bucks out of the system. They're taking from the same pie that exists instead of creating a new pie. Creating a new slice of the pie instead of just trying to steal from the pie that already exists. So I just can't. Man, I hate that. So anyway, yeah, Owner's Pride. What the heck is that? It's a stupid name. So I would dismiss them right off the bat for having a stupid name. Come up with that means they have very little chance of having a great product if you can't even have an original decent name. Rebrand. Come up with something cool.
I agree.
Is that too much?
I think that's right.
You give me the look. You slow it down a little bit.
I've never used it.
That's somebody's family. It's somebody's. I don't know.
Someone's livelihood.
I just hate
trashing it.
I just hate having this same like how do you sit down and say I've got it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to get the cheapest, crappiest bottle I can get my hands on. I'm going to go get the cheap, crappy label because labels are, we know it's very hard to have made. It's very hard to chase.
Right now.
And so I'm going to get the crappiest bottle, the crappiest sprayer, the crappiest label. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to, I'm going to work very closely with the blender that I'm going to hire. I work very closely with contract manufacturers, and we're going to make it special. It's better. So crappy bottle, crappy label, crappy product that you kind of test it out and get it to work to your specifications, or so you say. And so now I have this mediocre line of stuff, and then in a really crappy delivery, and then I have a crappy name. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to distribute the exact same way as everybody else does. I'm going to try to get it in Auto Geek. I'm going to try to get, maybe I'll run some Facebook ads just like X-Forma and the last whatever.
Show the bottle like sliding off the hood.
Yeah, and slap some mud on. And then what I'm going to do, where I'm really going to make the money, is I'm going to get the professionals. I'm going to create a professional version of it. So I'm going to take my mediocre product. I'm going to make it even crappier for the consumers to buy, and then I'll take the best version I have and give it to the professionals, and then that's how I'm going to get it. Then they're going to fight and claw for the rest of eternity to try to get 300 dealers to buy like 3 bottles of their stuff a month, and those dealers just turn over like crazy because they're chasing the next thing, and the next company comes in. Why would you want to be in that model? It's crazy. That's why Adams is so much smarter. They don't get in that game.
Yeah,
Adams is writing their own script. Chemical guys. And as much as I'm not interested in chemical guys, but they're not on the same bandwagon as the rest of them. And that's why everybody hates them, because they're so darn successful, because they created a different way of doing it. Adams has created a lifestyle brand.
Right.
I'm not as interested in atoms as I once was when they were on that, but they've kind of pioneered, and they're the ones that people copy.
And we were kind of talking about something along this lines the other day of how, Obsessed Garage, we're so much more than just detailing products.
Yeah, detailing's like 20%.
Yeah, and really, I could go grab some stuff off of the shelf at AutoZone and be able to do whatever I need to do, no problem.
Mm-hmm. What people are buying from me is the process.
Right.
They're looking for me to select a product and then the process of how to do it. And this is why I think that I'm going to do something different, in that I'm going to go and I'm going to buy all curate products, which is very different. I'm going to curate products. We're not going to retail products. We're going to pick one soap, pick one details, or drying aid, pick one bucket, pick one sponge, or mitt to use, and that's the one. And then when we find something better, we change it for something else. Pick the lift, pick the Milwaukee tool, pick the Sonic cabinets, and then those are the ones that are in my garage. So why wouldn't I suggest they go in your garage? And then the goal would be with detailing supplies would be to go and just curate products, and then because none of those companies are willing to spend or take the risk to put it in a great bottle, we're trying to develop a great bottle that we can put it in, and then ask $15 more. I would pay it, you would pay it, $15 more to have a good interior cleaner in a good bottle.
Yeah, and that's
with a good label.
A lot of people have been asking about, in the chat and on Facebook and stuff. Is what are our plans for the bottles, the labels that we've been kind of showing a little bit on Facebook.
Well,
and whatever,
I've just wired $50,000 to Czech Republic to get my bottles, the next batch of Pressols here, and now we're going to start putting tire dressing in it, and we're going to see if they work.
Awesome.
And we're going to try it, and we're going to take a lot of heat when they don't work, or they have we have failures, but this is part of development, part of the idea. And what I'm going to ask people is I'm going to ask them to to eat it. Hey, if you want to help me do this, buy it, try it, and eat it. Like if a bottle breaks in 18 months, just throw it away and buy another one, because I'll probably be on version 4 or 5 by then.
Got a bunch of super chats coming in here.
Ooh, yeah.
Yoshi, super chat regular. He said, "What kind of slickness should I expect from C5, which we don't really use anymore?"
Mm-hmm.
I applied it on a set of wheels, and the slickness is in between grabby and slick. I'm not sure if that is correct. I didn't use CSL Exo because they're track use wheels.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. I mean C5, I find it doesn't do anything. Like, it's not slick, it's not grabby. It's not particularly hydrophobic. It's like there's nothing there. I don't know. Same thing I experienced with Gion rim or wheel or whatever they call it. Same thing I experienced with Kamikaze stance. Same thing. What's the other wheel coating? I guess those are the only 3 or 4. There's another one. That's why I always used Optimum, OptiCoat, because Opti is a cross-linking, would last theoretically a lifetime. That's why I always used that in the past, but even that isn't particularly hydrophobic. I find that hydrophobics are important on wheels, and the slicker it is, the better. And I don't know that. I'm sure I've talked to Robert about this, that the CSL Exo hasn't really been heat cycled or heat tested as much, but I don't know that that's gonna.
I tried doing some research on it, and the Celsius specifications were really not that different from C5.
Right. C5 is more of a derivation off of C1 or the old serum, crystal serum.
Lacquer, crystal
Yeah. So I don't know. I just found that I didn't like it. It didn't do anything, and that's why it just made perfect sense. I love CSL Exo, so we should do C5, and I'm doing C5 on all these wheels, and I'm like, I'm just doing this just because I'm doing it. I don't really like it. And then I just decided one day, I guess it was Billy's like, yeah, I put CSU on all the wheels. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, why don't I just do CSL on the wheels? It's great. So I haven't had a problem since.
We got Brian Chu with a super chat checking in from Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Says, thanks for the live. Always looking forward to tuning in.
Sweet.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that.
How many people we got watching? A couple hundred?
I don't know where it shows that on my screen because 288.
Yeah, that sucks. Normally we have 400.
That's probably my fault. I'm not a very good host, so
you're getting it.
I don't know how to answer or ask these questions.
You just read them. let me go.
We got Omni Garage from New Zealand, I believe. Gave us $16.99 in New Zealand.
Okay.
Is that like $1,000 here? I don't know. I have no idea. But he says placed a $1,000 order this week. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Even though the shipping was $200 to New Zealand. That's pretty typical.
That was actually pretty cheap.
Yeah,
You must have bought some light stuff.
That's probably pretty good. Had to pony up the cash to honor the source.
Thanks,
OG
buddy.
tire dressing video coming to the Omni Garage channel soon.
Well, hopefully it makes it there.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah,
if it's DHL, it'll get there for sure.
Well, we stopped using USPS first class because people's packages were just not arriving.
Yeah.
So fortunately, they're a
so
little better with DHL.
I haven't done any more work on it, but I'm still have the kind of hankering this pull to work on Canadian distribution, and then Canadian would lead to Australia, and Australian would lead to UK distribution of the products. Otherwise, I'm going to keep getting knocked off, and so it's time to consider getting this stuff done.
Yeah, speaking of growing, possibly trying to chase Canada, probably not. Hopefully not. T. Smith is asking, "Hey OG team, when new postings hit the career section of the site, will there be announcements like the previous time?"
Oh yeah, you know me. I can't shut up when I need to get something done. I need to sell something, or I need to hire somebody. Then I'll talk about it on Instagram. I'm talking about it on Facebook. I talk about it in the videos. Talk about it live. Post it on the website. One of the things I've learned is that when in the my business course that I took with my business coaches, that one of the sections they talk about is that and you hear it in people's voices, say, well, I'd love to hire people, but I just can't find them. I can't find good people. Well, that's ridiculous. What are they hiding? Are they hiding from us? Good people are just hiding out somewhere in a secret compound. You just have to talk about it. You have to yell from the treetops. Well, luckily for me, is I've all these people that are watching me on different platforms, and then we have this amazing, engaged group of people that are watching this stuff, and so the chances are our next hire is out there. I don't really have anything at the moment. I think our next hire will likely be someone for like Shopify to develop, product development to help photo and write descriptions and get products to market quicker. That'll probably be our next hire. The distribution team's looking pretty good. I think that what I'm going to do here is run a sale, probably the first week. Maybe we're talking about maybe Labor Day weekend or maybe sometime before then. But I'd like to run a test. What I don't want to do is get on this never-ending have to run a sale all the time in order to exist. But I'd like to run a capacity sale. Let's see how many orders we can do in a day. And so I'd like to run like a weekend sale or like a 4-day sale or something to kind of a Black Friday test, if you will. Yeah. See if I can drum up a bunch of sales of product so that way we can see what our capacity is now that we have 5 people who can pack. We have 4 people who can pick, and we have a tech support team that can handle the the incoming questions. And we have a person dedicated to scanning and having the products outgoing. So I'd like to run a case study here in this building before we move into the next to see how much output we can do.
Got the super chats rolling in.
This is great.
My WRX channel, $4.99, says, Matt, I have the Scan Grip bonnet light in my cart ready to go. Do you recommend this over the Milwaukee light?
Oh yeah, it's way better. Yeah, the Scan Grip lights have a much higher CRI quality. Like if you were to do a real world study, the problem is that CRI is not a very accurate measurement, and that there's not all companies use the same scale. The 12 color spectrums of the R scale, if you will. So the CRI is extremely high and extreme quality on the Scan Grip light versus the Milwaukee. Plus, it's a lot lighter. The only advantage the Milwaukee has is that it lasts a lot longer. The battery life is way better. You could put an XC 6.0 battery in that thing and have it last darn near all day in high mode. or if you had two, you had two XC 4.0 batteries, the thing will last. You could just cycle through them. Whereas the Scan Grip has a tiny little internal battery that lasts a couple hours at the most.
Scan Grip though, you can plug in.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that with the Milwaukee.
No, not that one.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't need to plug the Milwaukee in. The chargers are better and all of that. So the Scan Grip takes longer to charge. The battery doesn't last as long, but it's a whole lot lighter and a whole lot better quality of light. And then again, most of the time I just use it with the plug. Just plug it in.
Super durable. I mean, you ran one over.
Yeah, I literally ran it over.
Pinched it on the side of the lift and everything, and it's still running.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter weight, a lot safer on the paint and stuff. It's but both have their place. But if you need longevity is your main thing, then the Milwaukee light's a little better. That's why I decided to carry both of them, because they're both pretty good.
Yeah. Epiphany Detailing says he heard you mention the wall air videos coming.
No, yeah, I gotta go do it.
You have a father that's been asking about that too.
I know. All we have to do is bolt at the wall, and then on the weekend I'm like, I go mountain biking, and then I just lay dead on the couch the rest of the day. We got to install it, show you how it works. The deficiency of the wall air doesn't have a tank, so it just runs, and it's pretty loud. But it's a cool, it has a nifty little hose, and if you put a Prevost, fitting on the end of it, it's a nice little thing for $400. But I think somebody sent one back because they probably didn't know what they were getting into. They thought I had a tank or something.
I don't. He bought it specifically for blowing out pads. It doesn't work for blowing out pads. No,
yeah, you wouldn't want it for that. This is for filling up bike tires, for car tires,
interior or something.
Even that, I probably wouldn't use. It's so loud and obnoxious. I mean, this is not for utility. This is not for work. This is for utility. It's for blowing up tires, blowing up your the unicorn inner tube that your wife buys for the kids for the pool that'll get ruined in 1 hour. It's for the filling up your rafts and your beach balls and your and your volleyballs. That's what it's for.
Color lock products. We got Takamura Fitness asking about that. He's asking if he says he doesn't see them in the store anymore, but we've not had them in the store. We have the Color Lock brush.
Yeah.
But are we bringing the full suite? What are we doing with Color Lock?
Yeah, not the full suite, but the full thing, all the stuff that I use. I've ordered them. I don't know why it's not here yet. Maybe they didn't have it in stock.
Yeah, I don't know.
I ordered like $10,000 or $12,000 of it 2 weeks ago, so it should be here any day.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to.
But it'd be leather shield, leather protection cream, strong cleaner, mild cleaner, the little sponges. We already have the brush. We have the Alcantara sanding thing. I'm also bringing in the vinyl or faux leather, fake leather cleaner, and so we'll have the full suite of what I would suggest you use here in any day.
Talking about trim on vehicles with excessive black trim, like a Jeep Wrangler, stuff like that, trucks and that sort of thing. What's a good product to restore and hopefully provide some longevity before fading?
So the first thing I would do is first try to clean it with Meguiar's M39 and get a color lock brush, and so clean it really, really well. So use that, see what it looks like. If it's not like super milky white brittle looking, then go straight to coating it. And what I would probably do for that has tons of it, I would just buy a bottle of XO and do G-Technic XO only, maybe do 2 coats of it. If it's looking brittle and really washed out looking, then that's when you would do 39 first, solution finish, XO. So solution finish, do a coat of it, put it on, wipe off the excess, let it sit for 3, 4, 5 hours, or maybe just till the next day, see what it looks like. Maybe put another coat of it on, let it wait a little bit, wipe off the excess, and then XO over top of that. That's what I would do.
I've seen a lot of people ask about the Viper Green Golf R. Pretty excited about it. It's the cover photo for the live stream today, but I did not choose the Viper Green Golf R because of Mountain Dew. And it kind of just ended up happening. I was looking at, different Golf Rs, looking about getting a white one, trying to find a Spectrum one, but there was basically none. And then I ended up finding the green one and was able to just kind of make it happen all of a sudden. So it kind of just fell into my lap, so to speak. and then we all drove up after on a crazy weekend.
Not this I was laying on the couch watching the Instagram
Not Matt.
posts.
No, Matt would have not enjoyed that.
I would have flown up and met you there and flown
some Waffle
back.
House with us.
I'm down for some Waffle House, but
it was a really sketchy Waffle House. It was not the best.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun going up to get it, and it's not a color I would have probably chosen. Had I spec'd it that way, because it was an option. You could order a color for.
You would have chickened out on it.
Yeah, I probably would have pulled a matte and chickened out or something like that.
It's like the green interior in my GT3. I love it, but I would have never. I would have wanted it, but I wouldn't have gone through with it. I would have backed out.
You're gonna go get in your GT3 at some point one of these days, and it's gonna have Golf R seats in it all of a sudden, and
I don't know if they'll fit.
But yeah, I mean it's a great car. I love it. So hopefully we'll do some stuff here soon. I don't know. Do you have a OG spec toothbrush or process for that?
No, I want to love the darn, like the Philips or like the what's that other company? Starts with an O. Like a actual electronic toothbrush.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't ever feel like my mouth gets clean doing that. So I use like a soft bristled crap. I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm a front toothless dude, so I'm probably not the guy to ask. But
I think I'm a Oral-B.
Oral-B, that's it. Yeah. Oral-B. So I like a soft Oral-B regular handheld toothbrush. And then I'm not very good about flossing, which I should be.
Yeah, I'm not good about that either. Probably with all the Mountain Dew I drink, it just melts everything away in my mouth. So it's probably why I have good teeth.
Yeah,
all the Mountain Dew,
it's been fighting.
cleanses.
It's been fighting. Yeah, it's been fighting your whole life. So with all this Mountain Dew, all this Mountain Dew you're drinking, what happens if like right now I said go run a mile? What would your mile time be?
It'd probably be terrible because I don't run miles. But I mean, it'd be fine. I'm athletic-ish. No, it would be.
So are you going to be like an 8-minute mile or like a 10-minute mile?
No, 8. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about 8 with all that Mountain Dew you're drinking.
Bust it out.
You think you could bust out an 8-minute mile?
Maybe not in these skinny jeans.
Yeah, certainly not.
I don't know. I can make it happen. It'll be all right.
Okay. What about squat? You got to go back squat. What are you going to throw up?
Oh, jeez, I don't even know. I've only done back squats a couple times.
85 pounds, 95 pounds, something like that.
I mean, I got up there when we had the gym going.
Yeah.
I was doing some stuff. I don't remember what my max was, but
I wonder what life must be like. Like even if I'm skipping the gym, I'm thinking about it. Like it must be so freeing. You're just like, do you ever like? You're like, I need to go to the gym and work out, or you're just like, I'm just go home. So you leave here at 4:30, 5 o'clock. And you have like the whole night to do whatever.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
The whole weekend.
Yeah.
You're never sore. Nothing ever hurts.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's good.
This is like
it's freedom. It's freedom, Matt. It's freedom.
So what do you do? Like, look, you go home at 4:30. What do you do?
I'm a homebody. We don't really do much.
But what do you do when you're at home?
So I take care of my dog. I go home, take care of my dog.
What does that mean? Just feed him some food.
I gotta
and
go
walk
take
away?
him out in the yard. He's a very interactive dog.
Okay.
I can't just throw the ball for him and him go get it, and I have to like physically play with him and run around with it. So there, I do get some exercise out in the yard.
Okay.
Running around with my dog because he's ridiculous.
So you go home, you play with your dog for 30 minutes or something.
Wife gets home sometimes about the same time I do.
Yeah.
Make some dinner, and then.
So you're always making some. Do you watch a lot of TV?
A lot of like YouTube, and YouTube when we're just chilling out. And then we'll watch.
Gosh, this is such a. You're so nonchalant. This is such a foreign existence compared to me. Like where everything is like. Like I'm like binge watching a show, or I'm, meticulously reorganizing a something that Michelle and the kids screwed up, or now your life is going to change when you have a kid here
Right.
coming up shortly,
Right.
where now that's going to be your thing.
And
But there's no, if there's no gym, you're not mountain biking, you're not playing beach volleyball, you're not chasing some obsessive conquest of athletic, prowess at ever.
It's my recharge time. I'm under a lot of stress sometimes.
I need to give you some more work or something.
No more work? No, that's why I go home and I just like veg out.
Oh my word, this is fascinating. This is like I couldn't imagine this. This is crazy. All of you guys though, you just go and you got like 5 hours a night to do nothing, whatever.
Yeah, I mean it gets filled with stuff, and I mean I gotta do the dishes, and we gotta make dinner, and
I have to do that too.
I gotta shower. I gotta get you ready for bed.
Yeah, I gotta do that too. But then I gotta spend. It's like a 2-hour deal to go to the gym every day.
Yeah.
So it's like an extra 2 hours, and then weekends doing different things.
When you're not at the gym? What do you do? Watching Heartland?
Yeah,
or?
I'm like binge watching the show.
I just do other things.
But you're like, I don't really watch a show. Whatever. I'm watching the basketball or football or something.
When there's a show that we enjoy, so like.
But see, everything is in moderation, though.
Right.
You're
and it's like once a week. It's like, we got to wait for the next episode to come out.
I can't do that.
We're not binge watching.
I need 13 seasons of 18 episodes each to occupy the house of horrors. It's my brain.
Yeah, you got to have something to keep you calm. I guess that's good. What is your plan with the Milwaukee gear once you've got it all selected, which you do?
Mm-hmm.
Once you have it all here, are we doing any real-world testing?
No. What are you freaking do that for?
Bryce and I have talked about building some bird houses, possibly.
No, I don't need real-world testing. The real-world testing is when I'm doing something, I'll use it.
Right, yeah.
No, what we're going to do, I'm going to create an essentials line. Again, I'm an expert shopper. I'm not an expert, right? My place in this world is to fall in love with something and then want it, and then teach people how to want it themselves, right? And so, and I have enough knowledge about how to use stuff that shopping, the reason for the shopping has some value to it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach people how to buy it, because it's complicated. I mean, it's freaking insanely complicated. There's so much choice. And there's like 15 people in the comments that know a lot about one tool, because they've had it for 10 years or something like that, and they think I should know that much about 53 tools. Well, I don't really care that much about it. What I do care about is I want to acquire it, and then I want to teach people how to buy it. What saw blades you need, what accessories go with it, what works, and then what would be an aspirational master set of the entire line. And then what would be some subsections of that? What would be the essentials kit? What's the essentials kit for taking care of your car? What's the essential real man homeowner's kit? What's the essential hybrid homeowner / car guy kit? And then what's the ultimate kit? And what combination of batteries would you want and stuff like that? So that's what I'm going to teach people how to do. So that's the goal.
We're getting there. It's going to be an awesome solution, I think.
It's going to take me a couple of years to get there, and it's just one other thing in the pursuit of not retailing a garage, but to curate an entire line of products from start to finish, A to Z, from paint to the most intricate organization solution from start to finish of all things, that if you bought any single thing in the Obsessed Garage store, it was legit. May or may not be the best in the world, but it's always going to be legit.
Well, it's going to work. It's going to be a part of that the solution that you're providing.
Right.
Your way of doing it.
It's going to be excellent, right? It's going to be functionally excellent, and that's the goal. And then we'll find there'll be times when we buy stuff that aren't functionally excellent, and we have to fix it. Like shipping out pressure washers. We're in a funk where they're UPS and FedEx have probably a lot of contract labor help, and they're punting our 50-pound pressure washers all over the country.
Yeah.
And so, we're trying to figure out, well, the boxes were fine before, and now all of a sudden they're not. What changed? So we're constantly, working with vendors to try to fix stuff. And we take the heat for it. You know, I take the heat for all of it. You know, can you believe this guy's selling? Really, the hype. I hear that. Anybody who uses the word hype, you might as well just attach loser, because they're losing at something. There's no hype. I don't do anything hype. Or have you ever heard me hype anything up? I just tell you it's freaking good. You know, like bead maker hype. There's no bead maker hype. It says it works pretty well. If you ever said to me, "Oh my gosh," just start doing, dancing around and playing EDM drops, and maybe now there's hype. There's no hype. Stop using that word. You sound like an idiot.
Chris on Facebook is asking, what if there's been any progress in getting the special tips for the ego blowers? I don't think we've talked about that.
And David just left me a message, so there might be something. I've got freaking phone. Oh shoot.
Yeah, David has been working on that for us, and hopefully,
he's working. Yeah, he's working on them for himself. And then by proxy for us. Right. See, I love that. That's why it'll work, because if you work on it for yourself, I've got 5 messages. David's right there at 1:23 p.m. So I got to call him back. Let's see. He just said call me back. He didn't leave any info there. And then our bank chose us to be their story of the year. So the bank is going to come take some photos of OG and put it in their calendar. As their interesting business for 2020. Yeah.
Can get a calendar shoot going or something.
Yeah.
So we've got the new section on the site now.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie's slightly used trinkets and treasures.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a little fun.
So what happens all the time is that I get stuff, and I'm like, like for instance, Flex. I would go through the Flex catalog, and I'm like, I want to buy these like 20 things, knowing that like 3 of them are going to make the cut. But 20, I don't want to miss out on it. They might find something I really like that might be really cool. And so then we throw them up in the now I've wanted a page, so you've always seen me post on Instagram and then it sells in 30 seconds and we delete it. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to just have it on the store, and so I want to be able to take these things that I've opened and used for a little bit and realize it's not what I want, and be able to kind of sell it off as open box. And I always I'd lose so much money on this, but I always sell it at a freaking crazy deal. And and so like when I have a car capsule test that I use for a couple of weeks, I'm going to put it up there, Flex vacuum or a Rupes polisher or a whatever.
Or kind of, even some fun things occasionally, like the prototype Mosmatic Gun and Wand that we just did. That was kind of fun. We all signed it, and I posed all whatever with it. And
that's like the number one of one first prototype, and I'm like, let me just sell this. It's sitting here. I don't do nostalgia.
Right.
I don't do tchotchkes that I hold on to that I can go reminisce about.
Yeah.
I just remember it in my brain and get rid of it.
Yeah, we had Spencer. He commented on Instagram saying that he's the guy that bought the signed Gun and Wand. So that's awesome. Thanks, Spencer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Looking forward.
I think Bryce thought. Yeah, Bryce thought I said put it 20% off. He said just put up there for $100 because it had a special 3/8 inch fitting, so you can't put a nozzle on the short gun.
Right. It's not useless. It works.
Yeah. But you have to use it with a wand.
Yeah.
Unless you can find a 3/8 inch, whatever it's called, nozzle.
Oh, he actually got it. He got it.
Oh, sweet.
So sweet. That's awesome, Spencer. Let's see what else is going on in here. No more super chats. You guys know how that makes Matt happy. Let's see. As you deep dive into Milwaukee, this is from Danny, on the impacts, how important is it to use impact sockets and extensions, I guess, versus like a regular socket?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you talk to tool snobs, then if you use a non-impact version, you'll get some twisting in the metal. You'll lose some of the torque. It's not preferred, and so if you're removing lugs and stuff, you really should use an impact. I think the bigger issue is you're gonna, over time you're going to damage your impact grade sockets. So I try to, as much as possible, go grab the impact version, and then you're not chipping off the whatever the ceramic paint or whatever the coating they have on the regular tools, the chrome, chromoly or whatever.
Yeah.
You're not chipping that apart, and so again, I think especially if you're using the high torque stuff, you'd want to do that. I see someone was asking about, why didn't I test the Milwaukee air compressor? You have to remember that, Milwaukee comes out with about 200 new tools a year, it seems. And so I was working off of the late 2019 catalog. I needed a catalog. I needed something to start with. And so now once I get through the accessories and stuff, then I'll dig into what are the new tools. So the goal will be to get to the point to when all the new tools come out, I have them first, or in that first round of people that has them, so I can make the choice of which ones make the cut. So that will be something I'll be working toward. Like somebody made a comment that there's a straight die grinder that was new. Actually Daniel from Milwaukee noticed that I didn't have the high impact or the right angle impacts, the little stubby, like the right angle version of the stubbies. I didn't have those, and so they weren't in the catalog because they're new. And so that's why I missed some things, and we'll get to them.
Yeah. Takes a lot of time.
Yeah, people underestimate the
We're a little
scale.
sick of it, I think.
Yeah, it's 245 different items of a great expense, and lots of boxes and stuff to work through.
With me being at Matt's desk, my desk, Matt's desk, whatever desk it is now in the other side of HQ, I've had to listen and watch basically every video as it's been getting filmed. So it's been quite the process going through all of those. But
yeah, and now I need to make more specific videos. Like Brian Orr came by and we kind of just went through the line, the 53 tools, just for the fun of it. But we'll get some more detail on how I build the kits and all that stuff coming up here.
I've seen a couple people comment, I think Daniel earlier and now Tanner, saying a podcast with several of the OG crew would be interesting. I think like everybody kind of all at the same time type of thing. Matt, Chris, Bryce, Kyle.
What we were talking about doing was having like a mystery science theater of my old videos. I have a 65 E6 OLED that I just had sitting in my house because I got the projector for the home theater. We'll have a video update on that soon when I get it working. So I moved the 65 into the entry onto the the media side of the building because we're going to be moving out of here in the next couple of months, moving out distribution, and so I want to have an actual have the entries actually be entries, at least for a little while until we fill this building up again. But so we're playing old videos on loop, and so we're all sitting there making comments, kind of making fun of it. And so we came up with this idea of we should everybody go to my home theater and we'll do like a mystery science theater of watching back all the old 2014 OG videos. It'd be kind of fun to kind of sit and talk.
There was one that was on earlier. You were wearing a really sweet camo shirt. I don't remember what brand. Yeah, it was like probably Rogue Fitness or something like that.
I'm sure. Yeah,
it was very like early 2000s looking. It was pretty good. Dan saying, he gave us a little super chat here, $5. Longer wands, longer Mosmatic wands, please. Should have them up pretty soon, hopefully. I don't think we've taken any pictures yet, but we got the 43-inch.
It's because Bryce and Mike are taking naps midday or something. We need to get them to step it up and get them. We have them in stock. If you want one, email Kyle@obsessedgarage.com and he'll get you one.
Yeah, we can make it happen. Fortunately, they're not like that much more expensive than the 20-inch wand because it's basically just longer tube, but they're gonna be pretty expensive to ship for sure.
Yeah, it's what is a 60-inch size and a 43 and 60.
Yeah, 43 and 60. It might be like 61. I can't remember. We haven't actually measured them yet, so
yeah. So we have them. If you want one, just email us. We'll get you one. We can ship it out. We'll probably ship it out within the hour. For gosh sakes, these guys are flying out there. Moving.
Deagle456 says, loved the polishing video on the GT500. Very good quality.
Cool. Yeah, make sure to go check out Billy's channel. He'll have the follow-ups to the full wrap and the halo and the rest of the trim and interior and all that stuff. So he'll have that for you guys probably in the next week or so.
And then Sean's asking, what kind of ear protection do you use with when you're using the Ego blower?
Yeah, it's just their gun, Howard Light. I forget which model it is, but their Howard Light is the company, Leight, something like that. So yeah, they're like a gun, whatever, ear suppression, whatever you call those things, ear muffs, whatever you call them.
Let's see what else we got going here. A lot of people are talking back and forth. What do you think about the Mercedes CLS 63 AMG? You've talked about that a few times.
Yeah, I don't love the CLS. I don't love that fastback like the Audi, the S7 or the BMW, even the 8 Series. I just don't like that, or the Panamera, that slopey backed. I like a true sedan, like an S6 or an M5, RS6. Those to me are much better looking cars, and much more useful cars, because anybody of any height can't sit in the back of a CLS because the roof slopes so aggressively. So, and the Mercedes in general, I just don't love. I mean, they're not really sports cars. They're fast in a straight line, but the rear ends and the cars are kind of a mess, and they just don't. They don't handle particularly well. It's not a driving experience type car. It's more of a rolling muse, if you will. But if I keep going this way and I'm too crazy to drive myself, I'm going to buy an S600 AMG and have Bryce is going to become my driver and he's going to drive me around everywhere. It's going to be great.
Chad is asking, what about shipping to Canada? Any cheaper options coming? Will there be anything done about duties also? It's not really up to us unless we move up there.
Right. So, I mean, think about this logic. People complain about this all the time. So let's say you're buying a $1,000 item. All right, $1,000 K1322. And that $1,000 item, shipping UPS standard, which is ground, over the border, what is it? Probably $85 or something like that. $90. Or depending on what coast you're on. $90 to Toronto, right? And so it's $90 to ship, so 10% of the cost of the item, it costs to ship it. And then you have Canada has I don't think it's a value added tax, but they have an import duty tax of what is it, like 18% or something like that. And so the tax is what the tax is. There's no way around it. And so the only thing that can sometimes be hit or miss is if it sneaks through customs and doesn't get hit with the charge, which is very rare. And so, especially larger dollar items, what people want us to do all the time is say, well, just mark it as a gift. Well, we sell too much stuff. We have too much legal liability now. In the beginning, we could have fudged it and just sent a commercial invoice. So the way it works is we create a commercial invoice that reflects the value of the item, what the product is. And so then that's attached to the item and goes along with the product. It's all done electronically now. There's an electronic commercial invoice attached to the item. And when it gets to the UPS hub in Canada, or it gets the DHL hub or the Canada Post hub or USPS hub in Canada, then in order to get it released, you have to pay the duties. And so we have the option, which is really awesome, that you could through our platform, and it took a lot of work and cost a lot of money to get this set up this way, is when you're in Canada or you're in Australia or you're in the UK, we have a software called Zonos that's attached to our website. So what happens is when you go to check out, you can't tell, but you're leaving the Obsessed Garage website and you're going to the Zonos website, and it used to be called iGlobal, but it's Zonos is their rebranded name. And so your checkout, your cart is actually through Zonos. Zonos is actually collecting your money, and then they pay us. Because then they give you the option. They're calculating within reason, because we have submitted all of our tariff codes and weights and dimensions and all of that to Zonos. They import it on the back end of their software, and then it will calculate. It'll give you what your duties and taxes are. And then people start complaining. Obsessed Garage is charging so much for shipping. And we're just charging what it costs.
Right.
That's what it is. I make nothing. In fact, we probably lose money on shipping, I would guess, on average. And so what I can't do, again, take that the $950 Krenza pressure washer. What our cost on it is like 22% less than that, or something like that. So our cost is like, let's say $700. And so if, let's say I was to ship it for free, it was $90 off, and so $90, there's 10%. Now I'm at a 12% margin, and then I got 2%, 2.5%, 3% transaction fees, and then let's say you finance it, another 3% transaction fees. So now I'm down to 6% margin, and then I got to pay somebody to put it in a box. I got to pay somebody to to print the label, and there's another 3% or so. So now I'm down to 3% margin, and then we've got errors and things like that. So I make $0. So it makes 0 cents. I'd rather not sell it to you. And so we have calculated it really accurately down to a pretty exact science to get it to you. And so if you want it, you've got to pay for it. Just like I just frickin' bought an exhaust from Japan, and I had to pay import duties and taxes. It costs like half as much as the item. There's no way around it.
Somebody has to pay it. So it's got to be us or the customer or somebody. So
right, and so people are like, Obsessed Garage, they're just charging so much for shipping. No, that's what it costs.
Yeah. Detailer Jeff gave us a super chat. Said, how many times do I have to order you 2Js to help install headers on my car?
For the rest of your life. Never, not happening.
It's a lot of 2Js. Detailer Jeff.
Yeah. No thanks.
Kyle, my R is a manual. I actually did want a DSG, but manual was what I found. For that color, I opted for the manual.
VW Audi are the only ones that manage to have the DSGs are slower than the manual cars, which makes very little sense.
Oh, it's the other way around.
No. Well, not on the S4. Is it short shift? A lot of times they short shift. Like they'll short shift like 200 RPMs before red line.
No, at least on the Golfs and the GTIs and stuff, it's way faster with a DSG than.
Yeah.
But the manual transmissions are probably worse in the Golfs though.
Maybe.
Because it's not very good. But it's all right. It's a cool color, so it doesn't matter. Let's see what else we got. We got a lot of people that are chatting together and talking about a bunch of different stuff. A lot of people are saying that they definitely, want to pay the OG pricing because of the knowledge and the research. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, and that's my ask. I'm just asking people to pay not extra, just pay what it costs, and not have to discount it down to zero and work for free, And instead, I'm asking the people to pay for the, to have Michael come and be a cinematographer and shoot better videos, and for us to have Yellowtech mic booms and better quality, and and a Canon C200 and a building that looks the part, and me be able to get nice, fun cars to be able to share with. And so that's what I'm asking for, and I think that logical humans are down with that. Poor old losers aren't. They're always going to lose and complain and blame everybody else for their problems, are not interested in paying what something costs. They deserve, they're entitled to a discount, to better service, or they're the same ones who complain and yell and scream, are the ones who return stuff. It's sort of that opposite idea that people that pay more and expect less.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like because nice. They generally have something where they have some success, and so they know that not everything is perfect.
Interesting question from Yosef here that I've not seen. Random question: how do you maintain the trunk with a high kick wing?
Say what?
I'm not totally understanding high kick wing. So I guess just like if you have a spoiler, a big wing, like how do you maintain that area and keep it?
Well, a lot of times you take the wing off in order to do your polishing. Mm-hmm. Is generally what I would do. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's talking like my GT3 wing or something like that. I mean, or just wash it like normal. I don't think there's anything special to it. But for polishing, like on the RS, you don't have to take the wing off because it's so tall. But right. Most of them, like the GT500, we had to take it off because there wasn't enough room to get a polish underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, that Wing was really low.
Yeah, it was like, 4
right
inches
on
or
the
so.
car almost.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can phrase this question. Rocky's asking, can you please do a new volume video series that's updated? So I guess as we add new products and stuff like that, such as best exterior products, best interior products.
Yeah, that's on the docket here to selfishly for like SEO, the best, the top 3 pressure washers, the top whatever interior products, the top, whatever.
The things that we sell.
Yeah. And so we can put it in the blog, and then mainly just for Google crawlers and stuff like that. Because now we have like a legitimate business where we're like doing like legitimate SEO and stuff like that instead of just all pure organics. We do like Google Shopping and pay for some of those ads and stuff like that to find new audience. And that's not stuff I've done in the past, but Brad Bacon does that all for me. And so part of his request is that I start to simplify and categorize some, make some videos, which I think people might enjoy, of what's the best pressure washer and why. Now that we have all this data, we have this body of information, but I really need to get in and start to simplify the site and start to make a series that has a lot of this basic information with my twist of dry humor and anger,
Rage polishing.
Yeah, rage polishing.
We need to do a how-to video
Rage.
on that again.
Yeah. Rage excellence.
There's a question that kind of relates to the products that we have and maybe why we don't carry everything. But Mark is asking, can you carry the whole G-Technic line?
I could, but I don't want to,
right,
because most of it I don't like. And that's that was part of the rub with Gion in the beginning, is that Jeff was like, well, look, if we approve you've got to carry the whole line. I'm like, I don't want the whole line. I wanted like 2 things. Now I can choose. I just haven't found anything that I love more than others in the Gion stuff. So I've had a lot. I had to ask, like Corey took a flyer on me with CarPro, and because Microfiber Madness wasn't going to allow me to carry just 1 or 2 things, and then of course we had the mitt that was went gangbusters.
Yeah.
And Corey could see a residual of benefit in that he was selling X amount of product of, let's say, one thing. Let's say the Incredibrush flat. Let's say he was selling 20 a month. And then I chose to buy him, and I'm selling 100 a month, but now he's selling 100 a month. And so there was a residual lift to the whole, the whole system by Obsessed Garage people, purchasing the product, because people would go around or didn't know where they heard about it, and they didn't want to pay the $3 or $5 shipping, and would go and buy it elsewhere.
Right.
So no, I don't want to carry whole lines, because again, the concept here is not to retail but to curate. The popular thing to do would be, I can do better than Auto Geek. It's just like we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, where detailing line is, I can do better than Sonax, or I can do better than Meguiar's, or I can steal. What they're really saying is, I can steal some of Meguiar's customers away from them.
Right.
But they're going to just copy Meguiar's and do the same thing, do the same thing, same exact process, same exact things everybody else. So it's the same thing with the store. I'm like, why would I create? This is why I didn't think I would ever sell anything. I'm like, I don't want to build a retail store. I want to have this like thing where I just have every soap.
Yeah, anybody can do that.
And then you just take stock images,
right,
and you just copy and paste the description, and then you just run sales. That's what everybody
to the
does.
Bottom.
Yeah, and then you're like, well, man, we gotta pay our nut this month. Let's run a 25% off sale. We gotta raise some cash, pay the bills, and then next month, and they're hoping to squeeze a 5 or 6% margin, and and that's generally a person like trying to make like $100,000 a year. Well, I want to make $100 million a year. In order to do that, you have to have a niche, and you have to have something different and something unique. And you can say what you want about me, but this is very, very different than anything that's existed. Like, otherwise, I would have just modeled it after Griot's Garage, say, let me just do what Griot's is doing. And and I'm going to create my own line of products, and I'm going to build a sort of semi-garage solution, and certainly you take inspiration from brands. I've certainly done that, but I think that I don't think that carrying a full line of products, like one thing I considered doing in order to just control the narrative of a product, control the margins, and make sure it stayed profitable. I talked to like Built Hamber and Cook Chemie. I wanted to be able to bring them in, create Built Hamber USA, create that website, and then curate like the 5 products or 3 products that I like, put it in the Obsessed Garage line, and just have a direct. So we would own it. We would, I'd build another corporation like Built Hamber USA, and I would own the rights to that, and we would take good photos and make good videos, demonstration videos, and then let it sell. It would sell, it would kill, and then. But I'm not going to put my stamp of approval on every product, because I only like 3 of them, and so those 3 would make it into the Obsessed Garage line. And so Obsessed Garage would buy from Built Hamber USA, which I owned and operated. And in order to make that work, I buy from Built Hamber. I buy a full container load of product, and I stock it and ship it, and it's stocked and shipped here under a separate corporation. That's the only way I would do a whole line of product, where I was the sole distributor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And the only reason I do that is so that I can maintain margins for Obsessed Garage.
Got to go into the business question here for kind of going along with that a little bit. Epiphany Detailing, again, asking a good question. Curious how now that the dust is settled on the custom Mosmatic order, that you were nervous about the money commitment. Mm-hmm. Did you predict it right? Curious on the business side of this.
Yeah, it's taken longer than I'd hoped to integrate into our entire packages. I think our nut is about $80,000 a month in cost, plus the roughly $180,000 nut up front. It certainly is profitable. I have a roughly 50% margin on that product. Because it is mine, and because I committed to buy so much, my margins are much better than most other things. And I could set the pricing what I needed it to be in order to maintain the margins I was hoping to get. And so it's a rather profitable product for me. And so let's say it's a $290, let's just round it up to $300. I make $150 on it. And so that's doubling your money essentially. And so I think I committed to like $1.2 million or $1.3 million in this, in these monthly purchase orders plus the upfront initial stock. The hardest part has been figuring out what do people want, how much stock should we buy, and so we've had to make some adjustments. It's now integrated into the Krensler package. It's integrated now into the AR package. Next up will be the Ultimate packages. And so that's the hardest part, is we didn't have enough built up stock of certain items, and on other items we had too much stock of. And so the hardest part with that is I predicted incorrectly like how many raw wands we would need, because the transition, we didn't have enough nozzles and fittings in order to support those wands, so we couldn't turn them loose on the site yet, and so we still had the old wands coming in. And so that was the one difficult thing. But yeah, it'll work out fine. I mean, we sell, when I made that commitment, we were doing an order of, $500,000 to $600,000 a month in revenue. And now we're doing, somewhere in the $900,000 to $1.5 million a month in revenue. And so we're able to absorb it on top of the significant commitment of Milwaukee. But at some point here, the product creation part will hopefully slow, so I can stockpile some of that cash for a rainy day. And use it to build the facility that I'd like to build at some point. So I need to slow down on the acquisition of inventory, and again, I've talked about this inside the Hex about, I've paid off and have assimilated all the costs from my exit from wealth management, so that's done. Almost in, I'm hoping that. October, November, I'll be paid up, overpaid with the IRS. So I'll be quarterly estimating instead of just paying at the end of the year. I got really lucky for 2019 in that, COVID hit, and so I didn't have to pay. I would have had to pay 10 or 15,000, maybe $20,000 in tax penalties because I didn't do quarterly estimated because I was still assuming the 2018 expenses, and so. The good part about 2020 for me is that our revenues continue to increase. Our payroll has more than doubled, so that's been a huge nut for me to take on. But I've paid 2019 taxes. I wrote the check. I had no penalties or anything like that, and so now 2020, I'm hoping to pay at least half of that in 2020 in a quarterly estimated upfront tax payment, and then catch up because I'll owe well over $1 million in tax for 2020, and so I'll have to I don't want to have to write $1 million check in April next year, and so I'm hoping to be able to assume pay up front and then just be on a normal quarterly process where I'm paying the tax as it's due rather than having to wait till the end of the year to pay it. So the business is going to become, I think, getting through the Milwaukee, getting through this Mosmatic transition, getting through the transition out of wealth management, getting the employees installed that need to be here, and so I think that the next 18 months I'm hoping to be a little bit slower in product creation. And now that Milwaukee's kind of assimilated and costed out, if you will, paid for, then I'll be able to sort of pay myself, and the advantage of me paying myself for the business is then I'm sort of bulletproof and agendaless, and so if I can extract a couple $1 million out of the business and I can just set it aside, then when it's time for us to build the facility, then I just pay for it. So that's the plan.
Yeah. Kurt has asked a couple times, I think, about the press-all bottles. They should be in this month.
Yeah. They just got the email that we just wired the funds because the bottles are done, and so they're preparing them for shipment. So they should ship this week or next. But then they're coming by boat.
Okay, I thought we already had some that were on the way.
So it'll be we're six week transit usually.
Okay.
Probably 3 week transit and another 3 weeks customs clearance and all of that. So they're coming.
Hopefully late September.
And these will be version 3, which should be pretty good. I don't think they're perfect, but they're going to be the most useful version. Plus, we'll have a surplus of rebuild parts and pieces for all the bottles that people have now.
Yeah. And
we'll do on the cheap. People will be able to buy the tips for 50 cents or something, like 20 cents or something like that.
Let's see. Kind of getting towards the end here.
Yeah, that's about all.
Yeah.
I'm about checked out.
Yeah, it's 3:45.
Need a drink of water, not Mountain Dew.
Could have had some Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I think I'm past that. I don't want to have a horrible workout and be miserable in pain when it wears off.
Not
20
be able
minutes
to run
from
your
now.
miles.
Anyway, that's Story People update this week. Next week we should have another live stream, assuming Chris hasn't come down with the death illness. I think we'll be. I think it'll be just fine. Yeah.
We'll get some more rants in next week. I think it's a little more spicy when Chris is here.
Yeah, we have to do our Little Debbie bracket. So
that'll be fun.
He's been compiling data. I think he's gone to everybody and gotten their preferences, right? And then I have to do my thoughts. So anyway, thanks for listening. If you're listening on the podcast, thanks to me for sponsoring me. You're welcome. And we'll keep on keeping on, working through Milwaukee stuff, and then who knows what's next. GT4 should be here soon. You got to go up and get it once it shows up. So GT4 content coming, Mustang S550 content. We've got some ND Miata videos coming out tonight and tomorrow. Doing short shifter. We'll have some Miata Aero stuff that we got to do, and who knows what else I'll get into. So. Anyway, let's find out if I bought these Civic wheels. Catch you guys on the next one. See you soon.